This is the expected traffic, that light gray line. And then look at this, boom, through the roof. That was the experience I wanted to see firsthand. It was worth the video just for that charging stop. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. You join me in Wolfsburg, Germany, where we've just picked up our ID.3 test car. We also still do have the Taycan that's back at the hotel, but some really crazy things have happened today. Starting off with, the Tesla Supercharger network is opening in the US to non-Tesla vehicles, and this has sparked some major controversy, particularly among the real diehard Tesla owners who feel like they bought the car, which funded the charging network, which means they should have exclusive access to the Supercharger network. Now, that's an interesting way of thinking. I'm not here to agree or disagree, but what I do want to do is sort of look to Europe for fast charging, of course, as we've always done, because the US is always a few years behind. And today is the ultimate stress test of the Tesla Supercharger network in Europe. You see, about 70% of the superchargers in all of Europe are open to charge non-Tesla vehicles. It's not every single one. Some really high traffic stations are still just locked for Tesla, but again, 70%. And today, Tesla charging here in Europe made all of that charging completely free for Teslas and for non-Teslas. There's no reason anyone should go anywhere to pay for charging today in Europe except to a Tesla Supercharger and charge for free. So it's the ultimate stress test of the network. And what we're going to do in this video is go to as many superchargers as possible to see if it's completely overrun with, non-Tesla vehicles trying to charge and get their free juice, or if it's business as usual. We'll be starting here in Wolfsburg. We're going to go to Berlin, see some really inner city charging, maybe some craziness, I don't know. And then of course, we'll take a look at some rural chargers on our way back. In total, I think we'll hit 6 or 7 superchargers, something like that. Should be pretty interesting to say the least. So this is the ultimate stress test, and it can really paint a picture of what the worst case in America could look like if every EV is relying on the Supercharger network to charge. I actually don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to jump in our little ID.3 and go find out. You join me and Alyssa in Wolfsburg, and we just had some Volkswagen currywurst. We had a day to chill basically, and we got some time here at Autostadt, which was great. You can see this LE charging station over here. Actually, I want to make a full video on this charging station. I've yet to do it. And it's a battery bank inside, I think 160 kilowatt hours, if I remember correctly. Anyway, I got to get all the info on it, and maybe tomorrow we'll come back and test it out and produce a video on that. Great idea. But today is all about Tesla charging. So we have our ID.3, and we're going to as many superchargers as we reasonably can. It's about 1 p.m. and free charging ends at midnight tonight. We are charged up to 100% state of charge, so we can rip it at top speed over to Berlin. You've also never been to Berlin, Alyssa.
No.
So maybe we'll get a couple little sightseeing clips in there. We'll see. But this is all about charging. It's all about seeing if the Supercharger network is completely overrun. Thanks to all of you who have been tagging me left and right on social media, letting us know, of course, that the network is open. Alyssa, if you could click unlock on the key, I can pull the charging port out of the ID.3. It's actually locked in the vehicle. So are you hitting unlock? There we go. Got it. We'll take it out of here. Thank you. And you do have to bring your own charging cable with you for AC charging at many places in Europe. Although I will say it is becoming slightly more common for them to have their own cables on the chargers themselves. Anyway, we'll throw this in the underfloor storage of the ID.3 facelift. Plenty more videos to come on this car. Let's go hit some superchargers. So in Europe, superchargers have been open to charge non-Tesla vehicles for over a year now. And everyone, cried doom and gloom, and it's the end of, good charging experiences. And as far as I can tell from the outside looking in, it's been totally fine. Actually, yesterday we went to a public charger here in Germany. It was an E-on station, but it was very much E-off because it didn't charge our car. And our Taycan was dead because we were ripping with an RS6 down the Autobahn, and we toasted the battery. And next exit up had a supercharger, plugged in, boom, everything worked great. So what I'm going to do is hit charge your non-Tesla in the app. You can see we're right in the heart of Wolfsburg right now, but if I zoom out a little bit, we'll let it load in all of these stations here. Whoops. This is basically the area we're going to stay in today. Let's let it load up. So you can see here, these are all the superchargers in the area that are completely open to non-Tesla vehicles. What we're first going to do is probably blast into Berlin. Maybe we'll even swing by the Brandenburg, Berlin Gigafactory. Could be quite interesting. And just see what's going on there. We'll make it kind of a Tesla episode. We'll hit all these superchargers and see what it looks like, what the mix of Teslas to non-Teslas are. And then as we come back, because of course I want to burn the battery on the way in, we'll hit these two stations sort of out here in the middle of nowhere on the way back. So yeah, should be pretty epic. The car, this is by the way, the ID.3 with the now small battery pack. The 58 kilowatt hour usable is the smallest. There used to be a 40 kilowatt hour with the facelift. They got rid of that, but it's the spicy motor with the small battery, so it's actually the fastest one. Not that it's a race car or anything, but I just love ID.3. The facelift is great, but we'll have videos on this car coming, so no need to really talk about it. Let's just go jump on the Autobahn and rip into Berlin. Well, we are actually taking, looks like, back roads over to Berlin, and so we'll probably hit the Tesla factory on the way out, but just going through these little towns, super cool, and then it opens up to just absolute farmland out here in the northern part of Germany. And so yeah, all we're really trying to do is just wide open throttles whenever possible. Let's just take a look. It does look like actually maybe we will be jumping onto an Autobahn here perhaps, but that road's particularly close. Look at all the old fire trucks over here on the right side, the new ones on the left, super cool. And yeah, just to give you an idea of where we are in the country, you can see
right in the middle.
Basically right in the middle. Absolutely. So yeah, feels like the middle of America. Not much going on out here, is there?
No, just mowing along.
Guy mowing his lawn. Well, we've had a pretty easy drive. The weather's just coming in. We've driven for almost 3 hours now to get over here to shoot this video. And it's almost 4 p.m. We've averaged 4 miles per kilowatt hour though, Alyssa.
It's pretty good.
That's very efficient. I mean, considering speeds have been kind of varied. We were on some back roads, some highway. No de-restricted highway over here though.
No, so, it was a very long, slow drive.
Yeah, but it was cool through the farmland. Anyway, you can see Berlin is huge, and I think a perfect city to do this test in because, what is it, 3 times the size of Munich and more than twice the population. So huge number of electric cars here. Lots of people who live in apartments who can't necessarily charge at home. And now you're just saying free charging to everyone on Tesla Superchargers. I think it's going to paint a really good picture to a pretty worst case scenario. So I'm expecting big lines. I don't know what to see, but I think whatever we see here today is going to be at least could be representative of what we'll see in the US when we see Ford, Rivian, Mercedes, Volvo, Polestar. Am I forgetting some? I'll use the Supercharger network, GM products, of course. So and more to come, I have no doubt. It'll be kind of fascinating to see. What are your predictions for today, Alyssa? 'Cause we're going to hit 6 superchargers.
I don't think it's going to be as heavily populated as a lot of people are going to think. I still think that, I mean, the one caveat is that I feel like a lot of people who probably drive electric cars don't really know that Tesla charging is free today.
Yeah, that's true. There's definitely going to be probably the majority of EV drivers that are like, oh, supercharging's free when they hear that tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be like, oh, damn. But it's definitely well known enough where it's made its way through all the forums, all the Twitter stuff, all the social media here in Germany. I mean, we've been tagged countless times, like, go check this out. So it's more well known than you think.
Right, yeah. It's just how many, I mean, with all the charging that is here, and that's the big difference from the United States, is like who really actually needs to charge right now versus just, you know, go charge at home.
Right, well,
I feel like there's a different mentality.
Right.
So
free charging.
So I don't predict there's going to be much of a difference then. Okay. But what do you predict?
Well, I think work is just letting out for people. I think they were browsing the forums at the office.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the stations are going to be jammed full of Tesla and non-Tesla vehicles because it's free for everyone.
So you think it's going to be like 50-50 each vehicle or more one than the other?
I'm really curious to see is how many non-Teslas are there.
I think it's going to be more heavily Tesla related.
Well, we'll find out, of course. We're going to go to this first station will be the 20 stall location right in the heart of downtown. It's the biggest supercharger in this area, and you know, so it should have the ability to handle more cars, of course, but also a lot more people. So it'll be really interesting, and I think that could paint a picture to what we'll see for the rest of the evening. But yeah, we're at 50% state of charge. I really expected us to have like open highways over here, but not the case. So we'll blast on the way back. We'll hit Tesla Gigafactory on the way back. They just put version 4 superchargers there that I'm looking forward to seeing. So lots of exploring to do in this video. It's all supercharging related. Let's freaking do this. We are arriving to, I think, the parking garage where the supercharger is. Wow, it's pretty tight through here. I'm not sure a Model X would fit so easily. And let's see, how the heck do we get in here? Does it just auto open as we arrive? Yes. Oh, check that out. That is cool. So yeah, let's pop in here, find the supercharger, and see what's going on. I see no signs of this. Oh yeah, look right ahead. Supercharger. Sick. And empty. What the heck? It's indoors, so the rain shouldn't even matter. Amazing. Let's hit the little button for the ticket. I can see everyone has curbed their wheels here. So we've hit this. Please enter. In we go. And I'm seeing, literally, it's free charging for everyone in Germany. This is the main Berlin downtown station at commuting time, and it's completely empty. You've got to be kidding me. That is so funny. We'll go down to the end. Our port is on the back right, so opposite of a Tesla. So technically, oh, there's one EV6 charging for free. But yeah, okay. That is really funny. We'll plug in here to 5D. I'll show you how that process works here. And then we'll just keep going. Chum charger. So I'm going to select this. It'll show us the times. You can see it was 34 cents until 9 a.m. And then at midnight, it goes back to 34 cents per kilowatt hour. But right now it's free, $0. So let's charge here. And it will show us all of the posts that we're able to charge on. But I'm going to select 5D. We're all the way at the end. I'm going to hit start charging. And now I'm just going to plug in the car. It says plug in to start. So let's do it. Well, we are here at the Supercharger. You can see in Europe, they actually use CCS Type 2. North American charging standard won't ever make its way here. This is the connector for Europe. And honestly, the way Tesla's done it really isn't bad. But all I'm going to do is plug, and that's it. We've already activated the station, again, through the app. It says plug in to start. Let's see, it's doing some communication as this is blinking white. I believe I've selected the correct one. It's still just doing some communication. There we go. Heard contactors clicking. We're now charging. And look at this. Right there, 46% state of charge. I guess it has a pretty slow refresh rate. We also have very little service here. But it says 24 kilowatts. What does it say in the car?
It says 51.
Okay, well, yeah, battery could be slightly cold, and I'm sure it could ramp up from there. But we are charging for free at the Supercharger version 3 in the middle of downtown Berlin. So, again, I'm not going to... This is just our experience. This is the big free supercharging day, and there's no one here. Look down that way. There's literally no one here.
Sleepy.
Sleepy. Great. Well, that worked out great. So now we need to find the next one that we want to go to, which is going to be, let's see, we can go to, this one has a wait. Let's go there. That should be the opposite experience. 20-minute wait time. So what's more, why is that station more attractive? But we have to go. We got to check it out. So let's go. 45 minutes. Not bad. Yeah, let's do it, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Go. It's only 19 miles, 45 minutes. It's commuting time. To your right, you will see Checkpoint Charlie. So we're doing a little bit of sightseeing there. Windows covered in rain. There we go. Hopefully you got that on video. But we did see Checkpoint Charlie. So just moving around some traffic. This person's plugging in their Mach-E. You got to bring your cable with you. And it's always this cumbersome, what do you do with all the extra slack situation. So anyway, I think we're heading east. So let's go this way where the wall used to be and go the ruin.
So we just passed 2 separate charging stations, both of which did not have any chargers. We passed a Shell station and an Allegro.
Oh, so they had chargers.
Yeah, they had chargers, but nobody was charging.
No one was charging. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
So 2 separate installs. No one charging there. Still seems like there's a line at the Supercharger up the road. So I think, okay, maybe we're getting somewhere.
Maybe we're on to something.
Maybe we're
not.
on to something.
I don't know.
Yeah, or no one knows about it. I don't know. I think that's untrue. I think people know about it. I want to believe people know about it.
I don't really think people know. It's like when there's like free hot dog day or free taco day at Taco Bell and nobody utilizes the free taco. It's about the same price in terms.
Well, your charging's very expensive.
Yeah.
It could be like $50 to charge your car.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Look at the dude in the classic Mini right up here, blasting through the rain. Props to that guy. And you can see the ID.3 knows it's a 250 kilowatt charger just up here. This is the Schwanbeck. How are we going to say it, Alyssa?
Schwanbeck.
Yeah, Supercharger. And just in this little town over here, and dang, it is looking busy.
Where do you
But
see?
not like I'm seeing a giant line
Oh,
anywhere.
over
That's
here.
a do not enter, so I guess we're going to enter on this side. Yep, pull in here. So this is really funny. This guy is paying to charge his Enyaq
Should we tell him?
at the Allego. Meanwhile, he could just go right over here to charge for free.
You should tell him.
I don't really speak German. Can we go around the backside?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here's the line.
Well, maybe
Oh, so
that's
there's a
why it's
BYD charging. Or no, that's an MG 4, I think. We just saw one of those the other day. There's a Model Y in line, another Model Y in line, and then everyone getting free charging over here. I'm just looking at the license plates to see who's local. They're all B local plates. I don't know what OHV is, but these are all local Teslas charging up here. Yeah, see this guy back there. And very interesting. Okay, well there's one that's full with a line. I wouldn't say it's quite a 20-minute wait like the app said it was going to be. But okay, that's that. On to the next one to see what other stations are looking like. I have not really checked. So what is going to be the next station we should go to? It's going to be, okay, we're here with this one at the line. This one says it's closed. Okay, I just got service back. It says this one is the Gigafactory Berlin Brandenburg. For some reason I thought it was over here in that Brandenburg, but it must be this Brandenburg. Anyway, 250 kilowatt max. We should at least go there and see it. So I think we'll take the highway down there, then we'll blast across to this one, hit that, and then we're out of the city. That'll work great. Even though it says it's not available, I think I can still select charge here. And yeah, it just won't let me. Yeah, site is out of order. Please visit another site. However, there's a 15-minute wait time and only 19 stalls, which is interesting. I think it's worth, let's just go there, see what's going on at the Tesla Gigafactory. May as well. And yeah, let's do that. And here we are arriving to the Tesla Gigafactory in Berlin. Wow, huge and totally different experience already. I was here maybe 1.5 years ago, maybe 1 year ago exactly. I don't really remember. But this traffic light didn't exist. There were dirt roads everywhere. Everything is now paved and really nice. I'm not seeing really any Teslas other than some employees over there. I believe the Supercharger is to the right. So we're gonna follow this Model Y in here to the right and just see what we can find, really. I mean, I believe they're the version 4s up this way. What a huge freaking complex it is. It goes super far back. This building over here was just under construction before. I can see a bunch of level 2 wall connectors all going down this way, and like just rows and rows. That's actually the first dark cherry red metallic, is that what they call it? Model Y I've seen. That looks pretty good. There's a smart and beige charging over here. That's really funny, actually. I've never seen one in that color.
Looks more gold.
Looks more gold. Yeah, gold. And take a look at this. You have all of the version 4 posts here, but not active, not available for charging at the moment.
But there looks like there's some snacks and stuff you can buy over there.
Yeah, there's going to be like a little snack house. That's freaking cool. So just a row of version 4s with a little lounge. Seems nice, but not able to charge, of course. Interesting that the app says 15-minute wait time, like you would be able to charge here, but you're not. Very cool little rest house, little toilet, restaurant situation. Cool. Well, I'm glad we were able to see it at least. Can't wait till we're able to charge here. By the way, version 4 dispensers, it's just a dispenser change with that immersion cooled cable. It's a little bit taller, so you get a longer cable. These are the cabinets right here, and they're just the same version 3 cabinets. So the charging performance will be unchanged, version 4 to version 3. It's really, we've yet to actually see a version 4 charger yet. So it's just a dispenser change. The behavior, the power output, it's all identical car to car. Or I should say charger to charger. Anyway, that is Gigafactory Berlin. Super cool. We'll take one last look at it over here. You can see a bunch of cameras everywhere. Fascinating. What do you think, Alyssa?
Yeah, another Gigafactory. Somebody told me today that there's actually a spotting of the Highland in Munich.
Oh, really? We are now at another Supercharger. Actually, I have stayed at this Holiday Inn hotel across the street from it. But you can see this is new. I don't believe this was here last time. And there's 4 that are offline. And it would have helped a lot because all the Tesla owners getting their free juice right now. And there's also an MG charging up, just like what we saw at the last one. I wonder if it's the same one going around looking at all the chargers. But now there's quite a line forming with all these Teslas coming around. And there's another Model Y just over here. Okay, so interesting. Full supercharger. Kind of makes sense. We're by the airport. I would think rideshare drivers. This guy's from Munich here in the Model S who's not able to plug in, so he's not local. But everything else is Berlin, 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 Berlin. A lot of locals charging. I don't know how typical or atypical this is. On the app, it said that this one had plenty of availability before. Now it does not. And now you can just see a line of cars forming right in the middle of the street to charge up. All white Model Ys except for that blue one there. So there's that Model S plus 1, 2, 3, 4 Teslas and us in line. Technically, I guess we're at 11%. We're not going to wait. We'll go to the next one. And there's just one non-Tesla here. And I'm fairly certain that blue Model Y just cut the black Model S that was waiting in line. So, and a Mitsubishi i-MiEV straight ahead. I don't know if you can see that on the other side of the bus. If you zoom in there, Alyssa. Nice. It's actually just behind that Model 3 that's coming down now. Okay, so far the 2 superchargers that we've been to, the 3 superchargers that we've been to, we've only seen one non-Tesla vehicle at each of those. The rest have just been Tesla traffic. Honestly, I expected way more non-Tesla to be here getting their juice. But no, it's just all of these sitting here charging. It's just a sea of Teslas everywhere right now. So let's, and they're blocking the whole road because we can't get around this bus. Let's go to the next charger. I believe there's one left in Berlin before we head out. Another Quicksilver Model Y right here. Really loving that silver on white combination. That is nice. And yeah, the dude in the BYD juicing up. Now the interesting thing is Tesla Superchargers, most of them have been public. That's not anything new. It's just the pricing that's happening today. But also Teslas can just as easily use any public charger since they have CCS ports on them, unless it's an old Model S or something like that. Otherwise, it's all, you know, everyone uses the same plug. So let's blast away here and go find us some more chargers. Okay, well, the next supercharger that we're heading to has to work. We're 9 miles away. We have 11% state of charge. We'll easily make it. Yep, that is the plan, to head there and charge up. Interestingly, the app shows 4 available at this particular station, and I'm pretty sure there must have been a cabinet offline or something, because those 4 with bags over them would indicate that that's the 4 that it was counting. So I guess it was wrong because the app and the back-end system didn't realize that 4 of those superchargers were inaccessible. So still some bugs here with Tesla charging stuff. It's not 100% perfect, but
they had bags, Tesla bags over them.
Right,
so
they should have been logged in the system that those were offline. But the next one said 9 available, so it's not far away. It's only a few miles. So I'm surprised most of those Model Ys just sitting in line wouldn't just come down the road to the next charger. But it's only about a 10-minute drive, so let's do it and see you over there momentarily. Will you join us now at the Hotel Berlin Brandenburg? And I can actually see the Supercharger over here. There's a Kia Soul EV charging up. There's also a Fastned location right here, so it'll be interesting to see who's charging where, basically. And so you can see no one's at Fastned, and everyone is doing this one. So we got Model S, Soul, Model Y, Kona, all the Teslas, more Teslas down here, another MG, another white MG, and then a Mercedes EQB and a EV6. So this is what I kind of expected more of, to be honest. We are technically going to block 2 stalls by charging this thing, but we're at 5%. So, sorry. But if someone comes, if there's a line, I'll move us over to the Fastnet. I'm not here to block a stall. But right now, we have 2 open, so we're good. Very cool. Let's get juicing.
It's so cute.
This Model 3 just pulled out down here all the way in the end, and the Smart was pulling in there. So I can actually take this charger without blocking another one. So that worked out perfectly. That way we don't hold anyone up, and the Smart #1 can charge up because they have their port on the back passenger side, or excuse me, the back driver's side, which matches up with Tesla. So this will definitely become a problem in the US, charge port location. But at least here on the end, you can see we're parked here if you look to the right. And technically a Tesla would be in the spot just to the left of us. But since that's the first charger, we're not blocking anyone. So this will be perfect. Going to the Tesla app. By the way, I was curious if my referral miles let me charge here, but they do not. So let's see, is this the one that we're at? I think so. Start charging. We're on 7D. All the way on the end. Boom. Start charging. Charging free, $0 per kilowatt hour. We charged at a Tesla Supercharger the other day, and I have some referral credits, thanks to you guys for using my code. And it still charges the card. You don't get free charging with a non-Tesla, only if you plug in a Tesla to a Supercharger.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. So there we go. We're up to 40 kilowatts right now. Let's take a look at the car, 120. And that's the maximum this thing can charge at, just about 120 kilowatts. So juicing, all is good. 500E pulling in to get that free juice as well. How about that? Good. And one thing we found is plug location is going to be an interesting problem when it happens in the US. You can see here, technically the ID is on the wrong side for a Tesla. The first Tesla would be here, but it actually works out well because the 500E's port is also in the wrong spot as the ID.3, so we're shoved over. The Soul has a front charging port, so that works well, but if a Tesla were to pull up here, well, they can't charge on that one. They would come here. It actually works out okay in this particular case because I've used an extra space at the end on the ID.3. If that space wasn't there, then of course there would be a an unused stall, basically. Front charging ports seem to work pretty well with the short cables on V3 chargers, and then everything else down there has charging ports pretty much in the correct spot. Yeah, it's been a really interesting thing watching all of this. Well, another interesting analogy we can get from today is how much do people value free charging? And I can see just the beginnings of a line of charging down here. There's a Model Y waiting for a spot to open up. We'll pull out soon. We're just about 50% state of charge. But then a completely open and unused Fastned location, which these are regarded as some of the best charging locations in Europe. Alpitronic 300 kilowatt chargers. We're huge fans. We love the guys at Fastned. They publish all the reports. They're super into the EV world, but again, not free. And so while you might have longer cables and less lines and less hectic busyness over there, we're seeing a line starting to form here at the Supercharger where everyone's just getting their free charging, including us, to be totally transparent. We're plugged in, we're juicing. Now, I don't want to contribute to the line too much because we're also going to other Superchargers down the road, another Tesla pulling in here. So we'll make sure we have just enough to get to the next Supercharger in more of a rural location, which I think we should be close to having that much. And we'll alleviate some pressure off of this station here. There goes another Model 3 pulling in. Very interesting here, Alyssa. What do you think?
Don't incentivize free charging.
Right. Well, we've learned free charging is not great for really anything. People should pay for charging. Certainly was such an interesting experiment. I'm sure Tesla Europe is looking at all the data, seeing usage behavior, because it's rainy, it's nasty out here, but yet superchargers are jammed full. But weirdly, not the one downtown. That one is kind of confuses me.
Maybe just nobody wants to get in there or have to pay for parking to get inside the garage, even though it's free.
Well, it was only free because we were there for a few minutes.
Right, exactly. So people would have to pay to actually charge there. It
Right.
Still be free.
This is truly free here.
This is truly free, and there's nobody charging across the street.
One thing I am learning, though, our little ID.3 doesn't charge very well. We saw 120 kilowatt peak, and now we're down to 63 kilowatts at 57%. And I actually checked, Thomas from Autobahn did a little charging test, and he noticed similar behavior as this. So I need to compare this with the same size battery pack Chattanooga built ID.4. I remember that car charging so much better than this one is doing with similar specs. Got to research that for an upcoming video. This is actually really interesting, this chart right here. This is for the station we're at right now. This is the expected traffic, that light gray line. And then look at this, boom, through the roof. So again, this video was more about what's going to happen in the US when other cars are using the chargers from like a charging plug standpoint. And I think we showed the importance of a standardized charge port right here. However, I really think there's no chance a standardized charge port will ever happen. We'll finalize the thoughts at the end of the video. But this video has actually turned into more about what does the influence free charging have on people. And it seems like a lot. People are, there's now two cars in line down there, and a completely open station that they could plug into. Again, every Tesla's CCS here, except for, again, early Model S and X. And I guess all Model S and X. But yeah, this is really a fascinating metric right there, isn't it? And the Soul is going to 100%. I noticed, I looked in the dash. They were at like 90% when we got here.
Yeah.
So they're just like taking every last drop.
Jeez.
Anyway, we're at 62%, only doing 57 kilowatts. Man, I kind of expected this to do better than that. We got to do some more charge tests. But let's get unplugged. Let's go get some dinner. And then we got to blast back towards, where the heck are we? Wolfsburg? Braunschweig? Is that what it's called?
Something
Braunschweig,
like that.
something like that. Yeah. And take a look. This Model Y is on the new Aero wheels. Those are Uli's wheels. How cool is that? As we were just pulling out of the Supercharger, I wish we were filming it because it's pretty fascinating. A Model 3 was pulling in and taking the spot we were in, but they won't be able to charge in the spot we were just parked in because their port's on the back driver's side, and the Fiat is there using that charger. So there's basically a charger that only a non-Tesla can use with a port, either front passenger like a Taycan, right? No? I think the other way around. An e-tron could use front driver, or a rear passenger like this car. Anyway, that is pretty fascinating, and I think we're going to be seeing some of these little confusions certainly at chargers in the US. Anyway, corner, wet roads, let's slide it, full send, ESP cutting in too much. I do love the ID.3, it is really fun.
It's super cute.
I know, we got to save all the ID.3 stuff for another video. This is all about Tesla charging, and that was the experience I wanted to see firsthand. It was worth the video just for that charging stop. I'm so glad we were able to see that, because just watching people and how they move around and interacted with each other really opened my eyes to charge port being a bigger problem than I was kind of making it out to be in my head. Anyway, Alyssa's got dinner selected, so let's head over that way.
You can see the sun is no longer with us, so it's just a few hours past the last clip. We had a very nice dinner, one of the nicest dinners we've ever had in Germany, and we are on to the next Supercharger, just, what'd you say, it's the southwest of?
Yeah, so we were on the southeast side by the Gigafactory, and then we worked our way to the south of Berlin. We've basically gone around the eastern edge of the loop. There's one more station I didn't actually realize that's open on the southwest corner. It's right before you make the cutoff, or actually it's right at the cutoff where you would go south towards Leipzig and Munich. And so that seems like a really strategic place. We're gonna just duck down there, try that station out, and then we're gonna blast towards the west as we head towards Wolfsburg and our city is just the one we're staying in, just south of Wolfsburg. It's only a little ways away. So that's the plan. We're heading to the next Supercharger. Did not expect to hit this one, I don't think. But hey, we're going to as many as we can. We only have a few more hours left before it's after midnight. And yeah, even driving by the Supercharger we were just at after dinner, it was still fairly busy. It wasn't jam-packed, but it was still pretty busy that late at night, which I wouldn't expect it to be that busy in, you know, at usual times.
Especially where we are, because we're kind of in the outskirts of Berlin, in very sleepy town where everybody, I mean,
Yeah.
we were trying to order some dessert and they're like, oh, nope, kitchen's closed, and it's like 8:30. So we're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
it's just, you know, small town
The
thing.
most exciting thing was the Tesla Supercharger.
Yeah. Well, Kyle has brought us out to the middle of nowhere here. There's not even a street light in view. And it's so dark here in Germany.
Yeah, there's very few street lights when you get outside of the city. But yeah, we're like seemingly out in no man's land. But checking the Supercharger app, it looked like it was fairly busy, this particular station. So curious to see what it's like when we get there. But I just wanted to show you guys on the drive over just how empty it is where we are. Come down here, bang a right, and then we should just find the Supercharger. Oh, I see a Tesla pulling in. Whoa, jam-packed. So there's a 500E. Also, you can take a look here. They're using the station that we would use, which means one's unused, so that one on the end can't be plugged in. If you look to your right there, Alyssa. Yep. And yeah, just a bunch of Teslas through here now. So yeah, mostly Tesla's just taking advantage of the free charging situation. I would have not expected to see this many cars here. It's pretty crazy, actually. So yeah, we're not able to, or I should say, we would be able to charge if we wanted to block 2 spaces, but we still have 40.
I think that Fiat owner is very confused.
Well, the Fiat owner may just be getting here, wondering what he's supposed to do. But anyway, we have 48%. I think we're good to get to the next one. I'll double check before we pull out. But yeah, we actually, could we charge? The answer is not back here, because we need one on the back right. Yeah, I actually don't think we could charge right now if we wanted to. Oh, the Fiat owner, nope, not possible for us to charge at all. The ports just don't line up. There's a bunch of open ones, but we wouldn't be able to get our car into a port that's available. Actually, because the roads are de-restricted and the rain is going, we were ripping and raining, and it's getting cold outside, and there looked to be some traffic ahead. I don't know, maybe an accident or something. There was all the signs for massive Stau. So I decided, oh, we'll just pull here, and we're at 32%. We still have another over 100 kilometers to go. And again, we have the small battery pack, but quite high voltage. Look at that. Over 400 volts here at 32% charging voltage. That's great. But yeah, you can see the curve is bad. Battery's warm, but that's all it wants. Anyway, we're at these Aral BP Pulse stations. I believe these are tritium chargers. Let's take a look. Yes, V-fill, tritium, and good stuff. We have just been stuck in the most insane traffic ever, and the highway's actually completely closed. So we've been going through all these little back villages and everything, and I don't know, you can just see this mess on the map right here. It's just a disaster. Who knows what the heck is going to happen, but I think we will only make it to one more Supercharger before midnight, before the clock strikes 12. And
Okay, Cinderella.
and then we, yeah, that'll be our last one. So we're only, it says 49 minutes away.
We're like 10 minutes away.
But we're not, like, the car doesn't think we can, like, go there. I don't know what, it's trying to send us, like, all up and around janky way to get there. We're just going to stick on the highway now that we're here, or at least as much as we can. Full send. The highway is now wide open. I'm to the floor in the ID.3. Everything it's got. 165 kilometers an hour. We're past 100 miles an hour. 166. The limiter feels to be 167, right around there. I think officially it says 160, right, Alyssa?
Yeah.
In the official documents?
Yeah.
But yeah, look at this. It's just cruising at 167 right here. And the best part is, I can even set lane centering on travel assist to do it as well. So here we are. Will it auto lane change? auto lane change at over 100 miles an hour. Oh, it canceled. Nope, maybe it didn't. We're back on. I think we may have had a little bit too close a closing speed. But look at this thing, doing travel assist at 166 kilometers an hour. Man, Volkswagen has got this thing nailed. The nav system, though, sucks. It has no idea what's going on. Now we are pulling into the last Supercharger of the night. We just won't make it to the next one in time. I believe we can pop in here. It's just down there to the right. So, yeah, we should be able to go left here. And then we can make a right here. This is a cool looking gas station. Holy smokes. Him. And then, yeah, actually there are cars here charging, which is cool. So 2 Teslas juicing up, which may be normal for the amount of traffic that we just experienced. That black Model 3 looks great. Nice wheels. Looking really good. I guess in a situation like this, we can really plug in anywhere because, again, there's not that busy, so us having a port on the wrong side isn't that big of a problem. Well, guys, that was an epic day of supercharger hunting, if you will. Visited a ton of new stations and learned quite a bit. The first thing we learned was what we attempted to find out was what is the worst case scenario that could happen in America when the supercharger network opens. Again, Europe's always a few years ahead of us, and today was the most amount of non-Teslas I've ever seen charging at a supercharger, especially the stop just before this one, or 2 stops ago, I guess, just jam-packed. Really interesting to see all the spacing. So as an efficiency layout, when you have a pull-in station or something like this, the port location being on the back right means you need to have 2 open stalls because you need to be able to park in one and you need to be able to charge in the one next to you. So 1 car takes up 2 spaces. And the thing is, if the station is half full, but each Tesla is spaced 1 apart, there's no opportunity for you to actually charge. That's what we saw at the last charging stop, where there were open available chargers. I just couldn't get any near the charging port by the way people were parked. So that was really fascinating. So what can Tesla do to solve that? Well, already we know version 4 is going to be taller with the longer immersion cooled cables. And that, I think, with a center mounted charging position will be great. The question comes down to, is it up to Tesla to say, hey, everyone who wants to use our network, put your charging port either in the front passenger or back driver? Or is it up to Tesla as a charge point operator to charge any vehicle regardless of charging port location? And that's the camp I fall into. I don't think standardized charging port location is going to happen anytime soon. It doesn't happen with combustion cars. For example, Porsche 911's in the front of the car. Most vehicles are in the back of the car, left or right side. And old cars have them behind the license plate in the rear. Like, I don't think standardized charge port location is going to be a thing personally. And I think it's up to Tesla to make sure that they either extend the cables on version 3, which they haven't done in Europe, and it's a little bit of a pain point, or just replace all of the version 3 posts with version 4 dispensers. That would be sort of the dream situation. It's quite expensive to do that rather than just coming up with a longer cable solution, I think. But definitely something needs to be done about Cablegate. I think it's already been called. What else did we learn? We learned that free charging definitely increases traffic at superchargers. And that's not a surprise, but I think it was a cool experiment Tesla did, because it's not a weekend. It's a Tuesday. And looking at the supercharger maps, that Tesla provides, they show you expected traffic versus current, and it was always significantly higher. Even here at this site, it sort of expected no one here right now, and there were 3 cars when we got here. Well, 2 cars plus us when we got here. And so Tesla was like, wow, that's unusual for this amount of time. Now, of course, the traffic is also unusual, so I don't know how much that plays into it. And we haven't spoken to any of the other drivers because we don't speak German. Anyway, I think what we learned is a lot. We learned that there's going to be a pain point in the US for sure. And that's not what we set out to find. I was hoping things would happen, but sometimes you need to experience these things firsthand to really realize, okay, like, we got some interesting issues. The biggest takeaway for me really was just that 2 spots next to each other have to be open in order to charge a car with a charge port on the wrong side. The front charging port location, like Seoul, like Kona, like Nero, that seems to work pretty well, and you have a little bit of flexibility with something like that. You can angle the car a little bit, so that's okay. But yeah, we need longer cables, no question. So let me know what you guys think. Should Tesla do more free charging days like this, stress the network, incentivize drivers to get out there, see how easy it is to charge on superchargers? Truly, as an American visiting Europe, charging on a supercharger is a much easier activation process than using almost any other network out there. You know, the nice thing about driving the Taycan, for example, it comes with a Porsche charging card that just seems to work everywhere. But of course, this is an ID.3 and we don't have WeCharge. So actually relying on superchargers for this car, even though it might be slightly more expensive, it's really not bad, even with the monthly subscription when you do have to pay. And it works out great. My only request to Tesla is, hey, if you got referral supercharger miles, let it work on your non-Tesla vehicle as well. Essentially, you're giving away free energy. It shouldn't matter what car it's going into. That only going to affect a few people, of course. So there you go. Thanks for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. A fun adventure, hitting as many superchargers as we could on this very odd event of a day where the charging networks were completely free in a place that you very rarely see free charging. So thanks for watching. See you on another one soon. Bye-bye.